Have you ever stopped to think how language, well, how it does more than just let us talk? How it actually shapes how we remember, how we feel a journey? How do we make those moments, stick? Today we're doing something a bit different with English grammar. We're following a tourist trip to Costa Rica, using their own sentences from this great source, excerpts from a tourist's Costa Rican journey, English structures explored by Robert English Coach. Our mission: to pull out the really key grammar points, but see them, like in the wild, making grammar feel, well, less like rules and more like part of the adventure.
Exactly. And the plan is we'll go through these sentences one by one. We'll look at what they mean, obviously, but then we'll pinpoint the English structure being used, the tense, the conditional, whatever it is. And I'll give a quick grammar reminder, focusing on why that structure works there. The idea is to see grammar actually doing something, making the story vivid.
Right. So picture it with us. Costa Rica. Rainforests, volcanoes, maybe you can almost hear the birds. We're going on a linguistic trip alongside the actual trip. Okay, let's dive in. Pura vida style. Right. Segment 1, arrival, first impressions. The truth starts with, I arrived in Costa Rica last week. Super clear, right? The trip began 7 days ago. Sets the scene.
Yep. And that's your past simple active. Arrived last week. It pins a finished action to a specific past time. Clean, simple, done.
Then thinking about the flight. The flight was long, but comfortable. So the plane journey took a while, but it wasn't bad. A description of how it felt.
Exactly, a description of a state in the past. It's past simple again, but here it's describing a condition, not an action the tourist performed. So it was long, was comfortable.
Okay, now this one feels different. I had never seen so many green mountains before. This means before this trip, wow, this level of green, this many mountains, it was totally new to them.
Yes. Here's where it gets interesting, like you said. This is the past perfect active, had never seen. It's crucial because it places this experience against their entire life experience before that moment. It emphasizes the novelty, the impact, much stronger than just saying, I saw green mountains. This tells us it was a first.
That makes sense. It adds that layer of personal history. And then this reflection. If I had not taken this trip, I would have missed a paradise. Meaning, gosh, it's amazing here. So glad I came. Not coming would have been a huge loss.
Textbook third conditional. It's all about looking back at a past decision, taking the trip, and imagining the opposite, unreal past outcome. If I hadn't taken, I would have missed. Perfect for expressing relief or sometimes regret about things that didn't happen.
Okay, moving into segment 2. Daily life comparisons. Sentence 5. People here are friendlier than in many other countries I have visited. So they're finding Costa Ricans particularly welcoming compared to other places they've experienced.
Nice combination here. You've got the comparative, friendlier than, directly comparing, and then I have visited, that's present perfect. It grounds the comparison in their total travel experience up to now.
And a strong opinion on a local product. Coffee in Costa Rica tastes better than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Aha. Okay, they've found their favorite coffee. They think Costa Rican coffee is the best, period.
And that's a comparative, again, better than, but this time linked with the present simple tastes. Why present simple? Because they're stating it as a general truth or a strong personal belief that holds true now.
Makes sense. Next, where they're staying. I am staying in a small eco-lodge near the rainforest. Tells us their current temporary accommodations, eco-friendly place by the jungle.
And that am staying is present continuous active. It signals a temporary situation happening around the present moment. It's not permanent, it's for the duration of the trip, or this part of it.
Got it. And about the room itself. The room was cleaned every morning by the staff. Basics. So, daily housekeeping happened. The focus is on the room getting cleaned.
Exactly. Past simple passive. The action was cleaned is the focus, not necessarily the staff who did it. Very common for describing services or processes where the agent isn't the key info.
Then, specific activity. Yesterday, I went on a tour to see sloths and monkeys. Simple enough. The day before, they took an excursion for wildlife spotting.
Yep. Past simple active again. Went. Completed action, specific pastime. Yesterday. Straightforward narrative.
And about that tour, the guide explained everything very clearly. The person leading the tour did a good job making things understandable.
Also past simple active. Explained. Another completed action in the past sequence of events. Clear storytelling.
All right, segment 3. Reflections, maybe some regrets, and looking ahead. Sentence 11. I should have brought a better camera. The classic travel regret. Wishing they had a different camera for photos.
Precisely. This is a past modal. Should have plus the past participle brought. It directly expresses regret about a past decision or lack of action. They didn't bring it, now they wish they had.
And following right on that, I could have taken amazing pictures of the volcano, meaning the potential for great photos was there, but maybe the camera limited them. Opportunity missed.
Exactly. Another past modal. Could have plus taken. This expresses a past possibility that didn't happen. Should have implies fault or a bad decision. Could have often points more to lost potential or circumstance.
Okay, shifting to future plans. If it rains tomorrow, I will still go to the beach. Definite plan. Even bad weather won't stop the beach trip.
That's your first conditional. If plus present simple rains, then will plus base verb will go. Used for real possibilities in the future and their likely consequences. Their intention is clear.
Back to descriptions. The beaches are cleaner than I expected. Pleasant surprise. The beaches exceeded their prior assumptions about cleanliness.
Interesting one. It's a comparative cleaner than comparing the present state with the past expectation. I expected past simple. It shows a contrast between reality and prior thought.
And this lovely image. The sand is so white that it looks like sugar. Just emphasizes how incredibly white the sand is. A strong visual.
Yeah, that's that's structure used for comparison or showing result degree. So white, the intense quality, leads to the result or comparison that it looks like sugar. Very descriptive.
On learning. I am learning some Spanish words every day. Actively picking up new vocabulary daily. Progress.
Present continuous active. Am learning highlights an ongoing process of acquisition happening repeatedly around the present time, every day.
And the linguistic environment. Spanish is spoken everywhere here. Just a general observation that Spanish is the common language.
Present simple passive is spoken, focuses on the language and the general fact of its use, not on who speaks it, a state of being.
A specific interaction. Yesterday, I was told a funny story about a local legend. Someone shared an amusing local tale with them the day before.
Past simple passive was told. The tourist is the receiver of the action, the telling, focuses on their experience of hearing the story.
And a thought about changing plans. I might stay longer than I had planned. Maybe extending the trip beyond the original schedule. A possibility.
Complex. You've got a modal might, possibility, a comparative longer than duration, and past perfect had planned, referring to a plan made before now, shows uncertainty about a prior intention.
Moving to segment 4. Highlights and deeper feelings. Sentence 20. The sunsets in Costa Rica are the most beautiful I have ever seen.
Wow, high praise. They think these sunsets beat all others they've witnessed in their life.
That's the superlative, the most beautiful, combined with the present perfect I have ever seen. It ranks this experience as #1 across their entire lifetime up to this point. Very emphatic.
Then a deep wish. I wish I'd come here years ago.
Fair.
Strong regret about not visiting much earlier. That sense of if only.
Exactly. This uses wish plus past perfect had come. It's specifically for expressing regrets about the past, wishing things had been different way back then. In a present hypothetical, if I spoke Spanish better, I could talk more with the locals. Dreaming of better conversations, limited by current language skills.
That's the second conditional. If plus past simple, spoke, but meaning present unreal, then could plus base verb, talk. For imagining a different present reality and its consequence. Their Spanish isn't better, so they can't talk more.
How's the trip overall? My trip has been more exciting than I imagined. It's exceeding their expectations for excitement.
Present perfect has been, connecting the past part of the trip to the present, plus a comparative, more exciting than. It evaluates the ongoing or just finished experience against prior imagination.
Another past event. Yesterday, I was invited to try traditional food. Someone offered them a chance to sample local dishes.
Past simple passive was invited. The tourist was the object, the one receiving the invitation. Simple past event.
And the verdict. The gallo pinto was delicious. They enjoyed the traditional rice and beans dish.
Past simple, describing a state or quality in the past, was delicious. Simple assessment of a past taste experience.
A recommendation. I would recommend Costa Rica to anyone who loves nature. Strong endorsement for nature lovers.
This uses the conditional simple, would recommend, often used for making polite suggestions or recommendations. It's a hypothetical offering of advice.
Sharing the experience. My photos have been shared by many friends online. Pictures from the trip are being spread on social media by friends.
Present perfect passive. Have been shared. The sharing happened in the past, maybe ongoing, but the photos being shared is relevant now. Focus is on the photos.
Okay, segment 5. More exploration and environment. The volcano I visited yesterday is still active. Connects a past visit to a present fact about the volcano's status.
Good mix. Past simple visited for the past action, and present simple is for the current, ongoing state of the volcano, linking past observation to present reality.
Activity level. I have been hiking almost every day. They've been consistently walking in nature throughout the trip so far.
Present perfect continuous active. Have been hiking. Emphasizes the duration and continuity of the action. Starting in the past and leading up to the present, they've been doing it regularly.
But the trails. The trails are well maintained by the park rangers. Paths are kept in good shape by the authorities. A current state.
Present simple passive are well maintained. Describes a general, ongoing truth about the condition of the trails and who maintains them, focusing on the trails themselves.
Another first. I had never climbed such tall trees before coming here. Before this trip, climbing trees this high was outside their experience.
Back to the past perfect active. Had never climbed. Compares the current trip's experience against all prior experience before this trip began. Highlights another novel activity.
Definite future plan. I will be visiting Manuel Antonio next weekend. They have a scheduled trip coming up to a specific park.
Future continuous active will be visiting. Used for planned actions that will be in progress at a specific future time. Suggests arrangements have likely been made.
Another positive surprise. The national parks are more organized than I expected. The park's management and structure impressed them, exceeding prior ideas.
Another comparative, more organized than, comparing a present state with a past expectation. I expected, past simple passive state implied. Similar to the beaches comment.
Sensory detail. I could hear exotic birds singing early in the morning. They were able to perceive the sounds of unusual birds at dawn.
Past modal could, plus base verb here. Here could expresses ability or possibility in the past they were physically able to hear them.
A moment of awe. I was amazed by how many species exist in this small country. The biodiversity was surprising and impressive.
Nice combo again. Past simple passive was amazed describes their past feeling. This feeling was caused by a present fact. How many species exist? Present simple. Connects past emotion to present reality.
Thinking historically, the rainforest has been preserved for many generations. The jungle has been protected over a long period, continuing to now.
Present perfect passive has been preserved. Action started long ago, and the result, the preserved rainforest, is still relevant today. Emphasizes the long-term protection.
Another conditional regret. If I had brought binoculars, I would have seen more animals. Wishing they had viewing equipment for better wildlife spotting? A missed opportunity.
Third conditional again. If plus past perfect would have plus past participle seen. Hypothetical past condition didn't bring them, and its unrealized past consequence didn't see as much.
Comparing learning. This trip is turning out to be more educational than any class I ever took. The journey is providing more learning than formal education ever did, an ongoing realization.
Present continuous is turning out, showing the developing situation, comparative, more educational than, and past simple, referring to past classes, could also argue present perfect have ever taken fits here contextually. Strong comparison.
Language use again. English is spoken by many guides here. Observation that many tour leaders use English.
Present simple passive is spoken. General fact, focus on English being used by the group guides.
Receiving advice. I was given useful tips about safety in the jungle. Someone provided helpful safety advice for the wilderness.
Past simple passive was given. Tourists received the tips. Focus on them as the recipient.
Segment 6 now, focusing on tastes, health, preparedness. I've been trying to taste all the tropical fruits. An ongoing effort to sample all the local fruit varieties.
Present perfect continuous active. Have been trying. Stresses the continuous effort over a period leading up to now, maybe not yet complete. Focus on the ongoing attempt.
The specific fruit comparison. The mangoes here are sweeter than the ones back home. Local mangoes taste sweeter than the ones they're used to.
Comparative with present simple. Comparing a current quality based on general observation or taste?
Oh, a mistake. Yesterday I should have worn more sunscreen. Regretting not using enough sun protection the day before, feeling the consequences now, perhaps.
Past modal. Should have plus worn. Classic expression of regret about a specific past failure to act appropriately.
And the consequence. My skin was burned by the strong sun. They got sunburned because the sun was intense.
Past simple passive was burned. The skin is the object affected by the sun's action. Focuses on the result of the sun exposure.
Learning the lesson. I must remember to protect myself better tomorrow. A strong resolution to be more careful with sun protection going forward.
Modal must plus base verb remember expresses strong personal obligation or necessity for a future action prompted by the negative experience.
Future planning based on this. If I travel again, I will bring extra sunscreen. A definite plan for future trips based on this experience.
First conditional. If plus present simple travel, will plus base verb bring, real future possibility and its intended consequence. Lesson learned and applied to the future.
Okay, segment 7. More discoveries, food, culture. I had been walking for 2 hours before I found a waterfall. Discovery followed a long hike. Emphasizes the walking time before the find.
Past perfect continuous active had been walking. Perfect for showing the duration of an activity leading up to another specific past event, found a waterfall. Contextualizes the discovery.
Describing the scene. The waterfall was surrounded by beautiful flowers. Visual description of the setting around the cascade.
Past simple passive was surrounded. Describes the arrangement or state of the scene in the past. Focus on the waterfall and its surroundings.
The feeling. I was impressed by the power of the water.
The force of the waterfall made a strong positive impact.
Past simple passive, stative, was impressed. Describes their past emotional reaction or state of being resulting from seeing the waterfall.
Ranking the experience. This is one of the most impressive places I have ever visited, placing this spot very high on their list of impressive travel destinations.
Superlative. Most impressive within a phrase one of the, combined with present perfect, have ever visited. Ranks it highly among all experiences up to now. Another hypothetical regret. I would have taken a swim if I had brought my swimsuit. They wanted to swim but couldn't because they didn't have their gear. Unrealized past action.
Third, conditional, but the clauses are reversed. Would have plus past participle taken is the unrealized result. If plus past perfect is the unrealized condition. Still hypothetical past.
About a meal. The food I tried yesterday had been cooked in a traditional way. The meal they sampled was prepared using old-fashioned methods. The cooking happened before they ate it.
Past perfect passive had been cooked. Focuses on the food and the fact its preparation method was completed before the time they tried it yesterday. Adds a layer of history to the meal.
Looking ahead to the trip's end, I will have visited 5 provinces by the end of this trip. By the time the journey concludes, they plan to have covered a specific number of regions.
Future perfect active will have visited. Projects forward to a future point, the end of this trip, and states an action that will be completed by then, shows anticipated achievement.
Segment 8. Practical stuff. Culture. Shopping. The roads are sometimes more difficult to drive than in the U.S. Driving conditions can be trickier compared to American roads. A general comparison.
Comparative, more difficult to drive than. Using present simple. A general observation about current driving conditions compared to another place.
Advice. Driving rules should be followed carefully. Important to obey traffic laws, general advice.
Modal passive. Should plus be followed. Recommends an action using passive voice to emphasize the rules themselves. Standard way to give impersonal advice.
Learning a key phrase. I was taught how to say pura vida on my first day here. Picked up the famous local phrase right at the start.
Past simple passive was taught. Tourists received the instruction. Focuses on their learning experience on day 1.
And using it, now I say it more often than any other phrase. Pura vida has become their go-to expression.
Present simple, say, for the current habit, plus a comparative, more often than comparing the frequency, shows how integrated the phrase has become for them.
Thinking about souvenirs. I might buy souvenirs before leaving. Possibility of shopping for mementos before the trip ends.
Modal might, plus base verb buy, expresses a possibility or uncertain future intention, not a definite plan yet.
About the souvenirs. The crafts are made by local artisans. Handmade goods are created by local artists. General fact.
Present simple passive, are made. Describes how the crafts are generally produced, focusing on the crafts and their origin.
Decision made. I have already chosen gifts for my family. Gift selection for relatives is complete.
Present perfect active, have already chosen. Action completed in the recent past with the result, gifts are chosen. Relevant now, already emphasizes completion.
Final segment, segment 9. Recommendations, feelings, lasting thoughts. If my friends visited Costa Rica, they would love it too. Believes friends would enjoy Costa Rica just as much. Hypothetical about friends.
Second conditional, if, plus past simple, visited hypothetical present future, would, plus base verb, love. Imagining a likely consequence if friends took the trip. Expresses confidence in the place's appeal.
Looking back with relief. I would have regretted not coming here. Feel strongly they would have been sad if they'd skipped this trip. Averted regret.
Conditional perfect. Would have, plus regretted.
Talking about a hypothetical past feeling regret that didn't happen because they did make the trip emphasizes the positive outcome of their decision.
Comparing photo habits. I am taking more photos here than on any other trip. Taking an unusually high number of pictures on this particular journey.
Present continuous for the ongoing action during the trip, plus a comparative, more photos then. Compares the current trip's activity level to all previous trips.
Camera usage. My camera has been used every single day. The camera's been in constant action throughout the journey.
Present perfect passive has been used. Focus is on the camera. Action started in the past, beginning of trip, and continued daily up to now, emphasizing frequency and duration of use.
A note on cost. The tours are more expensive than I thought. Excursions cost more than initially anticipated. Comparative, more expensive than. Comparing present reality with a past expectation. I thought past simple. Similar structure to the beach park comments.
But the value. But the experience is worth every dollar. Despite the cost, the value received makes it worthwhile.
Present simple active is worth. States a current evaluation or truth about the experience's value.
A lasting memory. I will always remember the kindness of the people.
Yeah.
The local friendliness will remain a permanent memory.
Future simple active will always remember. Expresses certainty about a future mental state. A strong declaration of lasting impact.
Comparing vacations. This trip has been more relaxing than my last vacation. Finding this current journey more restful than a previous one.
Present perfect has been connecting the trip experience to now, plus a comparative, more relaxing than, compares the quality of this trip to a specific past one.
Hotel fact. The hotel was built only 5 years ago. The accommodation is quite new.
Past simple passive was built. States a fact about when the construction was completed in the past.
Feeling welcome. I have been welcomed everywhere I go. A sense of universal acceptance throughout their travels in the country.
Present perfect passive. Have been welcomed. Describes experiences of being welcomed that started in the past and have continued up to the present moment, creating a general feeling.
The big conclusion. I must say Costa Rica is the most beautiful country I have visited. A strong final declaration ranking Costa Rica #1 in beauty based on all travel.
Modal, must say, strong opinion. Superlative, most beautiful, present perfect, I have visited. Pulls together personal obligation, highest degree, and lifetime experience.
A final wish. If I had more time, I would explore the Caribbean coast. Desire to see another region, but limited by current time constraints.
Second, conditional. If plus past simple, meaning unreal present, would plus base verb, explore. Hypothetical present situation, not enough time, and its unrealized consequence.
Looking forward to going home. I will have many stories to tell my family back home. Anticipates having lots of anecdotes to share after the trip.
Could be seen as future simple, will have as a state, or maybe even future perfect, will have, meaning will possess. Expresses a future certainty about having stories upon return.
The overall impact. My life has been enriched by this journey. The trip added significant value and depth to their life.
Present perfect passive. Has been enriched. The journey's positive effect started in the past and is felt as a current state of enrichment, lasting impact.
And the final sentiment. Costa Rica will always be remembered as a paradise in my heart. A heartfelt, permanent, positive memory and feeling associated with the country.
Future passive will always be remembered. Focuses on Costa Rica and the certainty of its future status and the speaker's memory and emotions. A powerful closing.
Wow. Okay, so that was a lot of sentences, but what a fantastic way to see grammar in action, right?
Yeah.
Following that whole journey from arrival and first impressions right through to these lasting feelings, we saw everything from simple past actions to complex conditionals about regrets and wishes, and even looking ahead with future perfect. Really covers the whole spectrum.
It really does, and what I hope comes across is that learning these structures isn't just, academic. It's about equipping yourself to express these precise feelings, these comparisons, these reflections. The grammar is the tool that gives the story its depth and nuance. Seeing it in the context of travel, something so relatable, hopefully makes it click. It makes it more tangible than just rules on a page.
Totally. It's like we got a grammar lesson as a mini vacation.
Okay.
And for you listening, the takeaway is maybe to start noticing these things more in conversations, things you read, even how you think about your own experiences. Are you using a simple past, or do you need a past perfect to show sequence? Are you speculating with a conditional?
That's a great point. So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Next time you're engaging with any kind of story reading, listening, Even just recounting your day to yourself, pay attention to those grammatical choices. How does changing a tense or using a passive instead of active shift the focus or the feeling? How does the structure itself shape the meaning beyond just the words?
Hmm. Something to definitely mull over, how language truly crafts our reality. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us on this linguistic deep dive through Costa Rica. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
Robert English Coach.